Torchy, the battery. But we had all the merch when we were the kids.
Oh, yeah?
Absolutely.
Oh, wow. Troy Tempest was based on James Garner.
Stop it.
Yeah. Okay.
My heart would be a fireball.
That's it.
Merry Christmas to everybody.
Anything can happen in the next half hour.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
It is indeed, right here in Slough.
It's beginning to look a lot like Paul McGann.
Oh.
Hello, Paul.
Your jumpers are definitely
Yes.
telling the tale.
Look at that. Thunderbirds are snow.
Does someone's mum provide all these? Or
This is a competition winner.
Yeah,
I
it
believe,
was.
From,
Is that right?
yeah, last year. I can't remember the name
Yeah.
of the person who submitted this design. But
That's
yes.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, she's quite chuffed at this.
Thanks to coming to Slough to Gerry Anderson Country, as you pointed out on your arrival.
Yeah, well, I'm honoured. And
We're honoured to
particularly
have
as
you.
it's the Christmas version.
I know.
Yes.
I'm really honoured.
Look, I've redecorated.
It's the highlight of the year. Yeah.
That's right. I mean, the thing about interviewing you, Paul, is that you have such an intimidating list of credits. It's so difficult to know where to start.
Are you scared?
Yeah, I'm really scared because we could be here for 3 days probably interviewing about all the various projects. And
Well, you live long enough.
yes,
all
I
that.
suppose so. I think it's been almost 4 decades as an actor. Is that right? Does that sound
4
about
and a
right?
bit.
Have you
Yeah, I
noticed?
started in 80... When did I leave school? 81.
Yes.
So 40-odd years.
And has the actor's experience of the business changed in that time? We know the business has changed, but as an actor, have things changed?
Yes and no. I mean, I don't know that, the rough and tumble of it changes at all. For us, I was 66 a couple of weeks ago, so which dates me, but I only say that because when I would have started, my siblings even, because my 3 brothers are actors. Back then, you still needed a union card, so that was the big difference. That wasn't going to stop till it was a closed shop.
Yes.
The Thatcher government wouldn't stop it or get rid of that until the mid-80s sometimes. So just making a start was the big deal in those days, because that doesn't happen now. You can just rock up and
walking
do
off
it.
the street, it seems.
Set
up your own YouTube channel, start a podcast.
Which is better. I think it's better.
Do you think that sort of democratization of media is the fact that anyone, with a phone and a camera can make a short film and put it on YouTube? Is that?
Yeah, I do. I think
why not?
It's been a real, why not? I mean, why stop and stare?
Yeah,
that's
right.
And when technology is advanced,
Yeah.
you just got to. I think it is. It's been a huge leap, hasn't it? And we'll talk about that, on the television of the period.
Indeed,
stuff.
exactly.
But it really has. It's felt like having lived through it and
that's right.
worked in it.
Yeah,
it's felt like as formats changed and technology sort of whizzed ahead. It's been exciting. Slightly daunting, but really, in answer to your question, not really. I mean, actors are still, unless AI finds a way of sweeping us all away.
Give it time.
Yeah.
It will in some respects, I suppose. But no, it hasn't really changed. I don't think it's... we still got to...
We will see throughout the podcast as we show various clips from Gerry Anderson's oeuvre, career, genre, how things change from the very beginning for him into his later series, technically.
Because he started... When did they start? Late 50s, was it?
Twizzle, 57.
Oh, Twizzle.
Yeah.
The people slightly older than us were... I think we missed Twizzle. We would have missed it, but the kids who were older, the kids, who were sort of 4, 5, 6 years old, ahead of us at school, talked about it.
Yeah.
But it must have been and gone by the time we...
On that note, we had a brief email exchange, and I asked you to rate your Anderson knowledge, and you gave us a few bits and pieces. So let's have a look and see how you scored on the Andermeter. Here we go. So 1 to 5. 1, 2, 3.
2.
Well,
okay.
Is that kind of fair? Is that...
I mean,
pretty good, yeah.
2 is pretty good. We've had 1. We've had 4, I think, was our highest.
Yes, yeah.
How was that?
Was it no? Sophie, we eventually upped to a 4 because she got a 2, I think, but had rather underestimated.
Sophie, did she really? She really thought about it.
Yeah, of course she did. Yes, absolutely. Yeah,
and immersed herself in, and of course her her ace badges and everything else.
Yeah.
You know, everything. You know, that stuff was sort of linked to it.
Yeah.
Well, even before Doctor Who, when she was at university, she wrote a dissertation on Thunderbirds. Yeah.
Yes, which you brought with
She
her.
brought it in, yeah.
That's
Let us
amazing.
look through it.
Yeah.
Well.
So, Liverpool, in the 60s, I mean, was it as exciting as we're led to believe?
Apparently. But it's a little bit like, my London friends who were around in the 60s in London, they said, well, that swinging stuff must have happened across the way there, because I don't particularly remember it.
Yeah.
I suppose Liverpool was kind of the same, briefly, really briefly. It would have been a...
And you were aware of
It
that?
would
Do
have
you
been,
remember?
yeah, as children we
Yeah,
were.
sure.
Yeah, of course you were. I mean, because the place became really, for a year maybe or so, when I would have been about 6 or 7, mid-60s, it was crowded, really crowded.
Yeah.
I remember going into town and, Liverpool then had twice the population it has now anyway, so it would have been more crowded anyway.
Really?
But people turned up.
Because of the industry, you mean? That's why all the people were there? Is that why twice the population? Because of the
It's
docks?
odd, isn't it? Because we're used to thinking places only get more crowded over time, but some of the northern cities, I'm sure Sheffield's the same, Newcastle's the same, Leeds might be the same.
Yeah.
They've shed their people.
Yeah.
In those days, Liverpool had about 900,000 people in it. And now it's half of that. And half of the present population, I think, are probably students.
Yeah,
so going back there now, it's where you're walking around sometimes, we think, oh, where is everybody? It's slightly ghostly. But then, for a brief period, I don't know, I remember going to Barcelona as a kid, 30, 40 years ago, when everybody was going to Barcelona and it had this vibe,
Yeah.
And then I suppose the vibe, a bit like Liverpool must have done briefly in the 60s. Everybody wanted to see it, be there, visit it.
Yeah.
And then it moved on to, where would it have gone to Haight-Ashbury? Would have gone to San Francisco. It just, the kind of thing moves on, like a parade, I can remember we were kids and we'd be out in town and, there'd be foreigners, Japanese people, there'd be people with cameras, there'd be, taking pictures everywhere.
Yeah.
So I can remember that. I remember the excitement of it.
You still have roots there? Still go back? Still?
Yeah, my mum's there, my big brother's there.
Yeah. Great.
All my cousins are there. Yeah, family's still there. I go back all the time. Go back for the football.
Yeah, okay. Do we talk about the football now, or do we?
We can talk about the football anytime. One of my sons he's been living there for a few years. So bit of a reverse migration going on.
Funny, isn't it?
Maybe we'll all end up back there.
Now we're really going to put your knowledge to the test now. Okay, this is a game that we like to play with all of our guests. And it is only a game, Paul, okay? There's no judgment entailed with this at all.
Games.
This is a game called Super Identification.
I'm very competitive though. So
okay, good. We're going to play you a series of really, really quick clips of the opening titles of every one of Gerry's series from 1957 to 2005.
I can promise you I have never, since a child, seen them. So
great.
This will be fun. This is going to test around.
I think you know more than you think you do.
I think some of the early ones might pop out. So they are quick though, so look at this. Here's number 1. The Adventures of Who? Okay, that's Twizzle. Gone.
That's Twizzle.
Really quick.
That is that Supercar?
No, Torchy.
Torchy.
Remember this chap? Four Feather Falls. I bet you remember these.
Now I do.
What's that?
Oh, that's Supercar.
Yes, this is
the fastest guy.
Yeah.
I remember the music.
Yeah.
That's Stingray.
Yes.
Thunderbirds.
Go on, that's an easy pass.
It's Captain Scarlet.
Yeah.
Joe 90.
Well, yeah, you see, you're okay. That's it. This is a bit of an oddball.
He's that Mad Vicar, isn't he?
Yes.
I don't remember the
Sure. Now we're into live action stuff.
And now this is where I would have... Is this... No, you're beyond my era. I don't know.
Okay, so...
This is an emergency.
Well, look at him.
We've gone past Space 1999, UFO, you'll know all the
I would
names.
have gone by then.
We're now in the 90s now.
Now into the 90s.
Good.
We're almost there.
The place of legend.
This is Lavender Castle, so now we're into the 21st century just about.
No, so now I'm
20th
earning
century.
my 1 or 2 Anderson rating.
There we go.
And it's funny, it's the music one
Yeah.
remembers.
Always the music.
Even though I
absolutely.
never saw Torchy, I remember the older people singing it. Torchy, Torchy, the battery. But I'm just a walkie-talkie toy. That's
That's
Torchy,
exactly
right? That's
it.
exactly right.
I mean, that's
'Cause
exactly
I
the same.
remember people. I can remember that.
It's weird, isn't it?
Those are things you don't forget. You know.
Yes.
Yeah.
We
You
can
won't
all
have thought of that.
We can
for
all
years.
sing snatches of lyrics
Yes.
from 50, 60 years ago.
Nigel Planer had exactly that same
Yeah.
epiphany when he was a guest with us.
Yeah,
He
he
said,
was like,
I know
why
nothing.
am I here?
Yeah,
And
I know
then
nothing.
Things
And then-
started unlocking.
Even Four Feather Four. I can hear the music.
That's it.
Would that all have been Barry Gray music?
Yes,
Most
it was.
of it was,
yeah.
Four Feather Falls
Yeah.
was,
In
yeah.
fact, the show was his idea, I think.
Oh,
Four Feather Falls, yeah.
gosh.
Yeah.
So he was more than just a musician.
Yeah.
Mostly a musician, yeah, but in that case, he had the idea for
Really?
the
So he
series
came
as
up
a
with
whole.
the plan of it.
Yeah, yeah.
Nicholas
Well,
Parsons,
well.
of course, in Four Feather Falls,
What do
as
you mean?
Tex Tucker, voicing Nicholas Parsons.
Yeah,
and
no.
singing that song.
No,
No.
that was someone else.
But yeah, he voiced
No.
Tex Tucker, Nicholas
Never
Parsons,
knew that.
married to Denise Breyer.
Who was in it? Who was?
Yeah,
She was
one of
another
the
voice
voices.
in it.
Exactly, yeah. yeah.
Well.
So it's all kind of interconnected.
Nicholas Parsons.
Yeah.
I love that.
You did all right. You got 5 there, I think. 5's all right.
5's okay.
I mean, they're all
Yeah,
kind of
it's
bunched
fine.
around a particular
I don't
period
make
of
a
time.
complete show of myself.
No, you
No,
didn't.
no.
But Secret Service was the Vicar one you were trying to group for with Stanley
Stanley
Unwin,
Stanley Unwin, yeah.
The great Stanley Unwin.
with his Unwinese.
Yeah. Oh, he used it in the.
He brought it with him.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I think that's sort of why he was cast, really, for comedy value.
That was a genius bit of shtick, wasn't it?
But that was a strange one, Secret Service, because they used both marionettes, the puppets, but also live action.
So this would have been later in the 60s or into the
69.
70s.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think for us, me and we got a sister. She's the baby. She was born in 65.
Yeah.
So I think more of my brothers who were born between 58 and 63. So we were, there's only 4 or 5 years between the four of us.
Yeah.
So we were avid. I mean, watching the, what would we have started with? We'd have seen Four Feather Falls.
Yeah.
That would have been early 60s, wouldn't
Yeah.
it?
Little 5 minute, 10 minute.
15.
Oh, were they 15-minute episodes?
Is that right?
Yeah. Right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
The thing is, and of course, I'm sure I'm not the first to say it, but but our lot, our generation, our cohort, there was only 3 TV channels anyway, so
Yes.
tended to be whatever was on, you saw it.
Yes.
And then when you turn up, you go to school the next day, and everybody would be talking about the
Yes.
thing. So.
Yeah.
Or reenacting the thing.
Yeah.
People ask me about the same about Doctor Who, from the same period.
Yeah.
So we would have watched Bill Hartnell,
Yeah.
the First Doctor, and whatever day that was on. I could say, for argument's sake, it was on a Thursday. Friday in school, the kids are all playing the scenes, reenacting the scenes. So everybody saw everything.
That's right.
So whether you, whether you thought or called yourself a fan or not,
Yeah.
you sort of were. You knew about these things. But it is the music, isn't it?
Always the music.
I mean, even now, one of my kids who's a musician and a producer, I can remember him here. It's still in the house, there was a 10-inch vinyl of the Stingray theme.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Oh
Wow.
my God, that still sounds.
Yeah.
I know
yeah.
the drummer friends who say, no, that's
Amazing.
that's the best drum track. But it really, it kicks,
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just great records.
So evocative, isn't it?
Yeah.
So born in 59.
Mm.
So around about that time, this would have been Gerry Anderson's TV offering.
My friend.
So is this Twizzle? No.
This is Torchy.
This is
I
Torchy.
can't see without me glasses. Where are they?
I'll switch on
There's the
my
eponymous
light.
hero.
Right. The Battery Boy.
Yeah.
Exactly right, yeah.
Beam that is so bright, will you shine your lovely light? Mr. Bumbledrop's glasses.
Oh, those dialects that are just.
So please
They've just gone, haven't they?
They really are time capsules, aren't they?
The toy pressed the switch on his jacket.
Now we can. This now with this resolution, we can see the strings. But in those days, would it have been the same?
Well, the screens obviously would have been a lot smaller. I suspect these strings were probably quite visible then, but as they went on, they worked to eliminate them. So by the time of Thunderbirds and Captain Scarlet, often you can't see.
And eventually they go over to colour as well.
Yeah.
they
Oh, sure,
change
Yeah,
the-
yeah.
with Stingray,
There were the glasses on the pendulum.
yeah.
The good old Torchy's found the glasses.
So what was Torchy? Was Torchy was Torchy sort of heroic or a little sort of every boy, or what was the point of Torchy?
Toy boy, that's what they call him in the first episode. Yeah, it was built by the old man to keep him company. But his
like a
dog
Geppetto
gets
thing.
swept off into space, and they land on a planet, and the planet is populated by living toys, and from there it just sort of like
Oh, sorry, I missed
toys.
it.
Yeah,
That would have been my
real
thing.
classic. Yeah.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it's sort of derided in equal measure these days, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but compared to, say, what the BBC would have been doing at the time with things like Andy Pandy and the Wooden Tops and such, technically it's
better.
far above,
Yeah.
even if it is creepy. And
Have these things been preserved? Have they been saved?
yeah, the only thing that's missing is most of Twizzle is missing. There's one episode surviving out of, I think, 52.
What happens to them? Do they get wiped? Like
Probably.
the BBC offerings?
Oh, they're not BBC.
No.
They would have been.
No,
they would have
but,
been
but,
shot
but, you know, the people used to wipe tapes. Didn't they?
yeah,
And
yeah. Well, these
you
would have
know,
been done on
re-record
film, so
Would they?
Yeah,
16
for
mil.
ITV. Yeah,
Incredible,
So-
isn't it?
Well.
Yeah.
yeah. Which is now why we can have things like Thunderbirds and Captain Scarlet on Blu-ray in high definition, because the film materials do survive, and you can
Because it was
rescan
filmed.
them to bring out the
That's
best
great
of them.
to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
amazing.
they would have been painstaking. You know, you still had to, have resets and lots of
Oh,
turnarounds.
yeah.
It would have been a
God,
slow
Mm.
Yeah.
process.
Yeah, all done, just down the road here in Slough on the industrial estate.
That's exciting.
It's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
Making mini movies every week, really.
Oh
Incredible.
yeah. Well, yes.
Absolutely.
It was, like you said, it was on film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we started work as actors, then 16 mil was still around. That was if you did film series for TV, that was what you shot on, sort of thing. And it was a kind of, for the actors, it was looking back, it was an intermediate, it was a step. If your ambition like mine was to try and be in somebody's movie, 35 mil, it was like it was a halfway
Right,
house. You
I
sort of
see.
remember that thing you sort of learnt on that on TV, and then
I see,
you
yeah.
got any looks, I'm going to put you in a movie.
Which is sort of reverse now, isn't it? I mean, they're all
Perhaps
pitching
it
up
is.
in Netflix series and Amazon Prime series, all the big stars.
Yeah, and 35 mil is gone. Well, no,
Well,
actually, not if you Paul Thomas Anderson.
Yeah,
or people like that, they still shoot on it.
Yeah.
But it's good to hear that it was made on film.
Yeah. Well, that was with Thunderbirds and such. That was down to Lou Grade, who was like, there are people 50 years from now who are going to want to see this, which at the time in the 60s was unfathomable, because repeats were not a thing in this country. And yet,
So Lou Grade oversaw.
Lou
these.
Grade was the financial backer through
Yeah.
ITC for all of the big Anderson shows. So he would just like, you need a blank check. You've got this idea about a rescue organisation. Yeah, just go off and do it. I trust you. Need any more money, just come back and see me.
So
and,
they would have had to go to Grade, with the ideas, and he would have had to
Yes,
sign
yeah.
off on them.
Yeah. But with Gerry,
Did he have good taste? Well, plainly he did. I mean, he's got made.
yeah.
He could spot a hit a mile away. I
And then
think.
he's behind
Oh.
the things like The Prisoner and The Muppet Show and such. He once said to Gerry Anderson, Gerry, if you want to make a series about that light bulb up there, I will back it. You don't have to worry.
Really?
So, yeah, it's quite incredible.
That's
So Jerry's
fighting talk, isn't it?
career really is kind of built on these relationships that he kind of stumbled into sometimes, like the Barry Gray with the music, Lou Grade with the cash. I mean, it really all kind of fed
But
into
what was
this.
his own background then? Was he? Well, yeah, he was born in the 20s, wasn't he? He would have been about as old as my
thought so,
dad.
yeah.
Did he see service in the war? Did he go to the war, or Gerry Anderson? Did he?
He did serve.
And did he work in showbiz or in films? After the war.
Yes, he was an editor with the Danzigers,
What's that?
who were a pair of brothers who were experts in churning out cheapies. A lot of their stuff turns up on Talking Pictures even now. It was just the cheapest stuff imaginable.
Or late 40s, 50s.
Yes. Devil Girl from Mars is one of their films, which Gerry
Great.
Anderson was the sound editor on.
Yeah,
Yes,
great.
classic. So he had served in the RAF during the war. I
Oh, he
believe
did.
He was stationed at Manston, I think.
Mhm.
Yes.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And he took inspiration from some
No, I
things
only
that
asked
he'd
because
seen.
I don't know, not the worldview is probably exaggerating, but the things I remember watching as a kid, had a worldview. It was about something.
Yeah.
It was steeped in something.
Yes.
It felt like, and thinking about them, they were either they were Cold War things,
Yes.
or they were trying to resist being Cold War things.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things
or
is
space race things.
absolutely.
his brother was a pilot who died during the Second World War,
Really?
and he's sort of credited-ish, if that's the word, that as kind of the inspiration for like the heroic characters, the Tracy brothers and your Troy Tempests and so on in all of these shows.
Was he his older brother?
Yes, his older brother Lionel.
No way.
Which he really looked up to. He really
Yeah.
looked up to his
No
older brother.
way.
Yeah.
So
We lost him.
yeah, and then in a way tried to sort of recreate him in the various series that he made from.
I know we can
Myself.
probably now we're talking talking like this. We could probably attach too much importance.
Yes,
or,
yeah,
true.
overthink it. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
but I'm interested in that. As to how he became such a
Yeah.
a consummate storyteller. Now he just kept having all these ideas.
Yeah.
Where it came from.
Yeah.
And it's
also
not easy is it to think into the minds of children. You speak to writers who write children's books. They'll say, "No, it's harder than you think."
Yeah.
They're the most unforgiving audience.
Absolutely.
In one sense. You've got to be really on your game.
Yeah. So
To keep children entertained, to keep children thinking.
yeah.
I
I think a lot of that was down to the visuals, especially once they went into colour with Stingray.
Yeah.
The beautiful colour palette that they use is just extraordinary and so captivating.
we don't remember because we had a black and white.
Sure,
TV,
exactly.
So why would would that have been in order to cater for American audiences?
Yes.
Right. Because colour TV would have been already around America.
Yeah.
Right, but we
So-
didn't have a colour TV
No.
until I know exactly what day it was. It was the day the Poles knocked England out of the World Cup. I remember because that's the first thing we watched when the colour TV, and that was 1974.
Great.
So
wow.
a lot of
Yeah,
it was
same here.
all black and white in the 60s.
Absolutely. Yeah. I remember getting our first colour TV, and it had a mysterious fourth button on it, just in case there were ever a fourth channel
Ooh, think of that.
Oh.
in the 70s, about probably 74, 75, yeah.
Yeah, in the days when the first telephone had a party line
Yes,
and a button on it.
absolutely.
Sometimes you pick it up and a neighbour would be on the
Yep.
phone
That's right.
to somebody else.
Yeah, that's
Those are
right.
the
You
days.
listen in.
What little we have we share, in those days. It's funny. We sound about 103, talking.
In our day.
That prompts another question. Now thinking back, particularly, looking at Torchy, say, and thinking of Thunderbirds, so they would have been set in the near future, probably. Well, I don't know when.
About now.
No,
Some
would
of
have been
them-
around now.
Generally,
Some of them have been gone.
About 100 years from when they were made, generally.
But
Right.
Space 1999,
Yeah, been and gone.
There you go.
Yeah.
been and gone. UFO, been and gone.
Yeah, that was 1980, which at the time in 1969 would have sounded very futuristic and
Yeah,
Wasn't
crazy,
way
isn't
past
it?
that
That's
now.
strange to think.
Really
Yeah.
strange.
Things change and they don't change.
Now, I found a clip of something that you also mentioned to me in our email exchange about the sort of thing that you were watching as a child.
Yeah.
This is the strangest thing I've ever seen. I've heard of it before, but never seen a clip, and I found this.
What?
Perhaps you can explain.
Why the birds were
Oh, wow.
Why the animals fled when they saw her.
Oh, well, you have a
They
colour.
must have told them to avoid her.
This
Right.
is Singing Ringing Tree.
It's
They didn't love her because they didn't see her pretty face as humans did. Only her insolence and pride. And as she behaved, so she
In
would
colour,
appear.
I've never
Her
seen
nose
it in
would turn
colour.
I guess
upwards
not.
because she was so
No.
proud.
Well,
But you
I mean,
recognise these characters? Are
I
they
do.
ringing a bell? Yeah.
I do.
The princess said she was the most beautiful in the land.
We were enthralled by this. This is and I don't know, books or essays have been written about it.
Yeah.
But I think it came and went in the mid '60s. It was East German, wasn't it? It was an East
Yeah,
German
that's right. Yeah.
offering.
And that narration was part of it, was it?
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was. And it felt, and we were the kids who got it. The 6, 7, 8-year-olds who.
Yeah.
I think it was around for a couple of years. But people have said since, I've sort of, contemporaries and mates who've gone into arts and music and everything else. And
Yeah.
saying, no, that was a big influence.
Yeah.
That got you thinking as a kid.
That's right.
I did it scared the life out of you. It came from Grimm's fairy tales. So
Okay,
when it
that
had some
explains
of
it.
I think I'm right in saying that it would have been
Yeah.
based on Grimm's, but it was a German offering. And it was the first European thing we saw. You could hear the German soundtrack. It was dark.
Yeah.
It was as dark as fairy tales are meant to be.
Yeah.
And it rattled you sometimes. And I remember as a kid, you put your head on the pillow and it wouldn't go away. You know what I mean? And the next, you'd be still thinking about it the next day. I just remember it was strange and scary, and it never. Maybe the way they scheduled it, but it just never seemed to resolve itself. It always, not in the way that, I know, the kind of space westerns and stuff. There was a happy ending or something got ended, that just seemed to leave everything kind of hanging or open in a way that, and and it just got you thinking. That I remember going into school and kids would talk about that, and some kids wouldn't want to talk about it.
I'm sure,
they were
yeah.
plainly
Yeah.
rattled by it.
I can imagine.
It really touched a nerve.
Do you think the TV that we watched, particularly in those days when, as you say, everyone was watching the same thing, do you think it informs what we become and our worldview and our values and so on?
How could it not? I mean, it was. I suppose it depended where you were, how you watched TV, whether you had siblings. Whether it was at home, whether it was a sort of communal thing.
Yeah.
Like I said, it would have been in school anyway, and everybody tended to watch everything.
Yeah.
I think, how could it not have?
Yeah.
For us, I mean, I can only speak for me and my. Well, look at my siblings. I had an older brother, 2 years, a year and a half older. Avid reader, bookish, very bright. Read a lot of science fiction, and I'm sure that it would have been because of the things we were watching. Two of my younger siblings became scientists.
Yes, right.
Of course, it was the time when the Americans were going to the moon. It was, I remember there was a general sense of possibility, excitement, and optimism.
Wow.
And I think that was also, again, you can overthink these things, but it was true nevertheless that, the grown-ups, all of the grown-ups, your parents would have either been under the bombs or would have gone to the war, if you were at the same age as we were, or your teachers at school, or the lollipop man on the corner, or the people in the shop, everybody. So we literally grew up in the atmosphere, the aftermath of that. Yeah. So combined with that, and then this new kind of by the mid-60s at least, particularly when the Americans were heading for the moon, and there was a kind of space race, and the Cold War was really was underway. It was and of course the millennium was hove into view. This was another thing. We were the children who, at being at school, we could see it coming. What was that going to be like? We were going to see the year 2000. Remember that feeling?
Yeah,
of being a kid and thinking, oh God, I'll be 40 then. Which was unimaginable in itself. But you knew, but there was something. Well, of course, it was inexorable. And so there were things happening. I was thinking, I picked up a paper the other day, and it was the anniversary of the fire that killed those astronauts.
Oh, yeah.
The Apollo 1 astronauts.
Yeah.
Last week was the anniversary.
Right.
Mid-67, that would have been. I remember that well. I can remember standing on the stairs, because I'd been, it was nighttime, we'd been put to bed, and their funeral was being televised. And I was standing on the stairs listening to the music playing at their funeral, and I was crying. And my parents would have been downstairs. So, things were going on. There were. I don't know. Czechoslovakia gets invaded in '60. I think the war was on. The Vietnam War was on all the way through. That was televised. So this kind of strange, thrilling, but something read for children really unnerving. Combination of stories and
that's interesting.
I just think that in the end it was an education. I'm not suggesting we were, the TV was a childminder, and we loved television. And I think it felt like, and I don't think we had one until we didn't have one immediately. We would have had one probably in '63 or
rented,
4.
no doubt.
It would have been rented because TVs were expensive to buy. We were working class children, so we were, and all our friends and neighbours would have had the same experience. So again, I think it's more the communal experience. I think that even if and I know now, even thinking back, I'm quite used to it now. You get to the age I am now that your memories, some of them are secondhand. I get corrected often now. I remember, and someone goes, "No, that was me actually. I did that, or I said that, or no, you weren't there." It's that sort of thing. So one has to be careful, and it's 50, 60 years ago, and that's a story in itself. This era, is it any wonder that so many of us, ran away to the circus, or wanted to be storytellers,
That's
wanted
right.
to find storytellers, or as soon as we could,
Yeah.
we jumped on a train to London and,
Yeah.
went away to do the thing. It was going to happen.
Yeah.
And really, even now, even now thinking as an actor, and thinking, I remember watching John Hurt say, I Claudius as a teenager, watching on the telly, and different people, Glenda Jackson as the Queen Elizabeth. I can remember sitting there watching great acting on the television, and saying to my dad, is that a job? Is that a job? And he said, what do you mean? The people, they're getting paid, and my dad's going, yeah. So first maybe reckoning with it, thinking about it. But also even thinking about these things, Troy Tempest, I'm just saying, was a big deal. That was like I suppose those puppets would have been modelled on existing actors, wouldn't they, themselves?
Troy Tempest was based on James Garner.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Nah.
That's right.
Stop it. Oh my God, he looks exactly.
He does.
Absolutely.
James Garner.
Yeah, you can't unsee it that once you know.
Well.
Yeah.
And there's loads of those scattered all
With
around
all
the
with
puppet
all
shows,
three
yeah.
expressions.
Yeah.
Three
And
different
like
heads.
that ultra handsome thing,
That's
oh
right.
wow, how funny.
Yeah. I mean, if you Google it, there's lots of likenesses. All the Thunderbirds boys.
Sean Connery in particular has got several puppets that were modelled on
Is
him.
that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scott Tracy.
I don't know,
was one.
there's something about animation. I mean, this the Super Mario Nation was a law unto itself, but animated things, we watched a lot of cartoons, animated performances are perfected. I mean, you can overthink these things, but the reason that they were so great to watch and kids adored them is because they got them right.
Absolutely.
All the acting performances were kind of somehow
Just
fell into,
right.
The timing was kind of marvelous. Everything kind of worked.
And
you learned a bit. You could learn from them.
Yeah, and they were left to it as well. That's extraordinary.
Yeah.
As Chris was saying, Lou Grade, here's some money, go and make something.
Well, he was very enlightened then, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Lou Grade.
Yeah.
Turns out.
Good on him.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now, Christmas is coming up, of course, as we know, Chris.
Yes.
So I thought it might be interesting to see what might have been in the shops when you were a lad. Let's see if you had any of these available at all good Woolworth stores.
Lone Star Guns, yes. I'm going to put my glasses on. This is
Sure.
Read the small print.
Do you remember the caps you used to
I'm
get for
fully
guns? and
expecting
all
to see
that?
a bull worker somewhere here. Remember bull workers?
Is that the chest
The chest
expander?
expander. That seemed to, every time you open the paper, there was a bull
That's
worker.
true, yeah,
What have
that's
we got
right.
here? We got
So we've got ideal.
balloons.
Yeah.
Oh, look. I mean, the plethora of assault weapons.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was
Freely
kind
available.
of staggering, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
that's
Do you
right.
remember the Johnny 7?
I don't remember Johnny Seven.
Well, am I about to educate you then?
Go on then.
Johnny 7, that would have been mid-60s. Johnny 7, it was I think one remembers everything as American, but it was all probably came out of somewhere in Slough.
Yeah.
It was a weapon that it was merch, it was sold to children, and it was a weapon that you could strip, take apart, and it was this assault rifle which became a pistol, which became a thing.
Wow.
Johnny 7, and it said on it OMA, One Man Army.
Oh,
Right,
Love
Johnny
it.
7.
Love it.
I don't see Johnny 7.
No.
Lone Star Guns, yes, that would have been around.
Yes.
What's the telephone thing at the top there?
What have we got?
polythene telephone and money box.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Dial a
telephone.
number and the bell rings.
Yeah, sure. Airfix models there.
Yeah, we all had Airfix. We can still smell them from here.
Bottom there, you've got ideal gifts for little mothers as well. That's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, that would have passed us by.
And toys for boys.
That would have been us.
Jacko the lovable monkey, whoever he is.
Don't know about that really.
No.
Indoor games and toys, yes, definitely Skittles. Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, amazing. And if you were slightly older, you may have been gifted a Brill Cream home dispenser.
I can still remember going around, the aunties and the grandma. There was still anti-macassars, on the chairs and stuff. So, fellas, wartime people, the old time people, they still would have worn Brill Cream and a home dispenser.
Imagine such a thing. The gift that goes to his head.
I know. Look at
nice of
her
them, isn't it?
very contented face.
Yeah,
That's
why wouldn't
acting
it be?
for you.
Yeah, that's right.
Telling you.
Yeah, all available from Woolworths, which in 1959 was already celebrating its 50th anniversary.
Is it really?
Launched in Liverpool, Church Street, the first
Never knew
Woolworths.
Yeah, we would have gone to Woolies. There would have been a Woolies nearby.
Exactly.
Did they sell? Did Woolies sell records?
Yes, they did. They did, yeah. And Smith, W.H. Smith as well.
So you could buy, you know, back in the day when we bought records, you buy singles.
Yeah.
It would have been
Your LPs.
It would have been a department store probably that you would have.
Yeah.
Well, definitely I did.
Pick a mix at the front.
Pick a mix at the front.
Records at the back usually.
Yeah, you go in. You know, I can remember paying for what was the first record I bought? Would have been Wishing Well by Free. There you go. That dates me.
Nice. That's very nice though. Yeah.
And Straub's, Part of the Union.
Yeah, great. Won't get me. I'm part of the
There you
union,
go.
yeah.
And whatever the price was, but that would have been probably in a Woolies. Yeah.
So, off to RADA then.
Eventually, yeah.
So how did that come about? What was your journey from Liverpool to
Followed the
London?
big brother down to London. I left school early. We all did, except my sister who stayed on.
Mm-hmm.
Left school at 16, 17. Tried to work an office job for a few months, just didn't like it.
Yeah.
In Liverpool, and then just jumped on a train. Then I went down to London. Joe was already there.
Was there already a thought in your head of auditioning or being an actor?
There was, yeah. But the difficulty now one wouldn't have to leave Liverpool. You could stay and go to school there. You can do those things there now, which is great.
Yeah.
But knocked around for a while. Worked in retail, which I liked. I quite enjoyed. You know, working in shops and stuff. And
Is that the alternate timeline? Paul McGann working in a shop somewhere for a
Maybe.
career could have happened.
Maybe, yeah. Selling shoes.
Can I help yourself?
Maybe, yeah. I don't know. It's like we were. My brother particularly, we were okay salesmen, you know.
Yeah.
Like they say, you can tell a joke, you can act. If you can sell something, you can act. You know, it's that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So it was all of a piece, really.
Yeah.
And then audition for the school would have been 1978, and then just got in.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
how?
I had a nice time, had a good time, you know.
Right.
Enjoyed it.
Yeah.
The drama schools then were quicker than they are now. They weren't degree courses, so it would have been 2 years.
Okay.
And just stage. There was no way to, there was no lightweight cameras, so it was all stage work.
Yeah.
And that's what you did. That's when, of course, when you're an actor yourself, you know, it's when there was still a rep situation, you know. And like I explained before, you still needed to get into the union to even get a start. So, so the schools were geared to that. But once I'd landed there, I was happy. I realised that was what I.
So it all kind of clicked into place.
Yeah, and I knew that it was where I wanted to be. Before that, I'd wanted to be in sport. That was my thing.
Yeah.
But sport,
Football?
and I was track and field.
okay.
Which I loved. When I was a child, you know, I'd be watching, you know, Thunderbirds, Stingray, whatever it was. But also, the thing that thrilled me the most in the world was the Olympic Games. That was my thing.
Yeah.
You know, that was my. I thought, when I'm a man, when I'm older, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to, you know.
So when did that fall away and become?
As a teenager, I just, you know, just didn't make the grade. Didn't have the discipline really.
Yeah.
Sports.
Which as an actor, it doesn't matter, does it? Discipline.
I'm saying nothing. I couldn't possibly comment. But that was like the first ambition. But then once I'd landed at school, I realised, you know, I'd found my people.
Yes, right.
My gang.
Yeah,
so,
It does make a difference.
Yeah, I think so. I've recently been, for the first time, but I'm hoping it won't be the last, is I've just been working with drama students for the last 10 weeks.
Back at RADA or elsewhere?
No, in Bristol.
Yeah.
And it sort of took me back, you know, and I've really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Did you see the hope in their eyes?
Yeah.
Sad, isn't it?
Well, it's thrilling.
It is thrilling, yeah.
You know, the reality is sad, but the hope is what keeps them going, you know.
Yeah, indeed.
Good on them.
Yeah. And ambitions at that point at RADA, did you receive any further than the next year, 5 years, 10 years? Did you have any?
No, I did. One ambition, probably, to be in a film. Because we hadn't been to the theatre. Our parents didn't go to the theatre, so you know, we didn't. But I was at RADA with kids who, you know, from middle class kids say who'd been to the theatre,
Yeah.
and they grew up loving theatre,
Yeah.
you know, and I felt slightly envious of them.
Yeah.
You know, that was the way they came into it. I think I went to the theatre once. My mum took me. Oh, you know what it was? It was. Have you ever heard of Richard Todd? You know Richard Todd?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's like Britain's answer to Audie Murphy.
Yes, right.
He's the great decorated
Mm-hmm.
equity member.
Mm-hmm.
Took part in the. I think he took part in the Maybe he was in the gliders in the Normandy landings. I think.
Right, yeah.
He, of course, had made, after the war, like Audie Murphy, he became a film star. There's a statue of him. I know, because when I was doing Holby City, I used to walk by it each day. There's a statue in Boreham Wood.
Right.
Where he came from, in the street. And there was a film called, what was it called? The Hasty Heart, which made his name. And by the time I was a young teen, he was probably 30 years on. He was touring it. In a play. He was probably slightly too old to be still playing the part. But anyway, my mum took me to see it. And the one and only time I went to the theatre was to see him. And there he was in the Playhouse. And I remember, because thinking back, there were some Liverpool actors in it, some Coronation Street people in it.
Yeah.
So perhaps what they did is they sort of, a bit like Chuck Berry did when he'd tour, there'd be sort of pickup artists. You know, he'd have a pickup group wherever he plays. So anyway, but that was the only thing I'd ever seen. And why am I telling you this? Why? Because, you know, we grew up watching TV and film. That was where it was.
Yeah.
You know, for most of us. I mean, really, now I'm thinking about it. I can remember sitting in the common room there, and when I was there, you know, it was a good time to be there. Like, you know, Rylance was there, Ken Branagh was there. You know, brilliant people were there. And I remember Branagh saying the same. You know, Branagh had a similar upbringing in Belfast. You know, never been to the theatre probably. Yeah. It was always film. So film was the thing. Film was that was like the Olympic Games. You know, if I can, if one day I'm lucky enough, you know, somebody will say, "Yeah, come on."
Yeah.
So that was the only ambition.
Yeah.
And it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. It happened for me. And it took me a few years, but somebody said, "Yeah, come on,
Great.
be in this movie." And after that, really, there was no other. Now, I suppose if anything that passes for an ambition now, it's probably just to stick around.
Yeah, sure. Right. Yeah, absolutely.
You know, just 20 years from now, 25 years from now. Yeah. And I'm only half joking. You know, you I don't know, you go and see some Chekhov show in London somewhere.
There he is playing the old butler.
And there's some 90-odd sweeping the garden at the back, the old retain or whatever it is. You go, is that McGann? He's still that's going to be me. That's my only ambition.
Fantastic.
Now,
yeah, wow,
you know,
amazing.
just to be the last man standing. That'll be me.
So, by the time you graduated RADA, the world of Gerry Anderson had, I think it's fair to say, quietened a little bit in the 80s.
Had it?
It had big success.
Sort of tailed off.
Big success with
Did they have success in America? Did they crack America?
Some of them did, but for the most part, no.
Not for want of trying, though. So, for the likes of Space 1999 in the 70s, you know, Martin Landau, Barbara Payne, you know, those big American stars to try and court the American market, never quite paid off, did it?
No, that was essentially the last throw of the dice for America. And then after that, the relationship between him and Lou Grade, they didn't have a falling out, but Lou wasn't in a position to offer him shows anymore. So he was kind of stuck. And that's when his personal life started to fall apart as well. So, early 80s, just trying to get things off the ground and not really getting anywhere, unfortunately.
Here he is, I think 1981, opening a branch of Forbidden Planet and answering a very important question.
Forbidden Planet 2.
That's right, yeah.
It being what? The second?
I would guess so.
Of the...
Whether this is the Oxford Street.
So what age would you have been?
Wants to know the answer to. What does
early
FAB stand
60s?
for? Do you know, it's
In 81?
terribly interesting
How old would he have been
over
then?
the years, this is a question that is most asked.
50 odd.
He's probably younger. I was going to say he's younger than I am now.
Yeah. For
the
sure.
word fabulous happened to be in fashion. So everything was fabulous, and it was the in the word. So FAB was short for fabulous.
Oh, he's talking about
Thank you.
There you go.
Thunderbirds
The
and
number one
FAB.
question.
There you
yeah.
go.
Well,
Yeah.
is that the question he always gets?
Yes, pretty much.
It's the question we always get.
Yeah.
Well,
How
he
many
looked
times do we
very,
answer
he
it?
looked very not long suffering, but he looked very
Resigned to it.
resigned.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. It
Oh,
doesn't
funny.
mean anything. Yeah, so there you go. So the 80s, quite a fallow period.
But you know what? He should worry. He had a wonderful run, didn't he?
He did have a
Yeah,
wonderful
look,
run.
we're still sitting here talking about it.
There we go.
It's like,
That's right.
you know,
And it was all about to take off again. It would never reach the heights of Thunderbirds again, but there were
oh well, really, there was
shows coming up. Yeah.
there was a
Slight resurgence.
Yeah.
Thunderbirds came back in sort of repeats in the
It was a
90s.
second
Which,
life to it.
absolutely, yeah. Which is when we had Anthea Turner on Blue Peter building Tracy Island again. I don't know if you're aware of that.
would have been.
In the 90s, yeah. Kids were
No,
suddenly
I was-
into Thunderbirds
I was
again.
in my Chekhov period. I was in
Of
my
course.
blue period, and it was long gone. Yeah.
Now, we have some questions here from our viewers and listeners for you, Paul. If you want to take a handful of those and read some out, and we'll see what they have to say. That's it.
Let me take two or three.
Sure.
What do we got?
I mean, there's loads in there. We might come back to them later.
This is from Lance Harrington.
Oh, yes.
Growing up, I wonder if you ever played Thunderbirds with your siblings.
Oh,
Right,
okay.
great question. Did your house in Liverpool have a flying craft underneath your swimming pool?
Of course it did. Like Thunderbirds one, yeah.
Of course it did.
Absolutely.
We had all the merch when we were the kids.
Oh, yeah?
Absolutely.
Oh, wow.
Did you?
I remember it arriving. And when I think back as well, you know, like most of the, you know, where we lived and most of the families we lived in streets, you know, most of the families in the area would have had the same, you know, would have been the same kind of people as us, you know, factory workers and, you know, like my dad was. So in order to just provide this gear, I mean, now I've got kids of my own, I'm thinking, how did he do it?
Yes,
You know,
right.
these they must have been kind of expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there were four of us.
Yeah.
The toys arrived, the costumes. I remember you know, the things that'd be a pistol. What would that have been, Joe? 90 maybe? There was a pistol. No, maybe I'm mixing it up.
Several of them.
Yeah, I mean, they
it was
all
like
had
yeah.
yeah.
Anyway, Lance's question: did you ever play Thunderbirds with your siblings? Yes, we did.
Which brother were you?
I was Alan.
Oh, were you?
Lost in
Interesting
what was
choice.
it? Lost in the Sky. There was an episode called Trapped in
Trapped in the Sky. is the
Trapped
first
in the
episode.
Sky.
Yeah.
Gosh.
me.
There you go.
Wow.
Well.
That rang a bell.
And
With me.
because, of
Trapped
course,
in the Sky.
you know, the brothers, the four of you, I think were
I
four.
know,
But there you go.
exactly right. And weren't they named after?
The Mercury 7.
That's right, the
astronauts,
Mercury
yeah.
astronauts. You know, Gus Grissom.
That's it.
That's right. Did your house in Liverpool have a flying craft underneath your swimming pool?
Yeah,
in
you
our
wish.
dreams.
Imagine.
In our dreams. Oh.
Yeah.
It's funny, but you know, the resourcefulness of kids. You know, I'm talking about like, you know, we had Olympic Games. You know, we did.
Right, I see.
There was a track that went
Yes,
around
yeah,
the four
absolutely.
streets and the
Got you.
thing. And,
Yeah.
You know, of course, you know, you paint goals on the
Yeah.
on the gable end of a thing.
Yeah.
You know, so you make the.
That's right.
You know, it becomes like your locale, your neighbourhood becomes your set.
That's right. Yeah.
All the kids are coming up, particularly Christmas Day, Boxing Day, or whatever it was, or some
Yeah.
high day or birthday.
Yeah.
With all the gear, everyone's in costume.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have a flying craft underneath your swimming pool? Oh. Yeah, probably. Probably. I wonder if it's still there.
Yeah.
Thank you for your question. This is from Anthony.
Oh, I
This
think
is
that's
Anthony.
Hetner, isn't it? Is that
Hetner.
right? Yeah, from the Netherlands.
Netherlands. Hi, Paul. Your Titanic Ship of Dreams podcast was fascinating. Yes, it was.
Tell us about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for anyone that's not heard it, you know, give it a listen, because the contributors, some of them academic historians, with family links to the survivors, just made it really, you know, special.
Yeah.
I think 10, 11, 13 eps, I think.
Right.
A lot of detail. And of course, we have a family connection as well to it.
You do?
We do.
Okay. Really?
Which, you know, so I know the feeling. You know, yeah, my dad's uncle
Right.
was a survivor.
Ah, amazing.
My granddad's brother, Jimmy McGann, survived.
Wow.
With, you know, he was a stoker. He was with the crew.
God.
In fact, I suspect he's been portrayed in the film.
Almost certainly,
without them ever knowing who he was or ever being named.
Wow.
There's a man. The ship's about to go down. The captain is there. It's the last we're going to see of him. He's talking to they're launching the collapsible B, the last of the one that turns tail. The last of the canvas lifeboats, which Jimmy would survive on, and the captain has 2 stranded children. This all happened, and it was my great uncle who took one of the kids from him. They shared. There was a boy and a girl. They didn't survive, and they jumped. And so my Jimmy McGann is now credited as perhaps the last of the crew to have seen the captain alive. He saw what happened to him, kind of thing. So yeah.
Did he ever speak about it? I mean, was he able to speak about that?
Well, yes, he did. And again, when we were kids, when we were little, in this period, we'd have. And I mean, everybody's family's got characters, and there's always like a naughty Uncle Bill, and there's always like he who shall not be named. Just in people's families, and there was a Titanic McGann. We'd hear, yeah, I mean, okay, what's that sort of thing?
Wow.
And but it was a few years back. My brother Stephen, who's aside from being a computer scientist and really deft and able with the machines, he's also the family chronicler, and he's written now a book or 2 about the family and genealogy and everything else. And he rang around and he said, "Boys, are you sitting down? I've found him. It was all true. Everything that the aunties were saying back in the day.
Right, okay.
I found him. It's true.
Yeah.
And what's more, he, long before we ever got to a live mic, he didn't speak at the inquest, but he spoke to journalists when they got to Nova Scotia.
Right.
There's articles with it and interviews with him in what would it have been, the Herald? What became the New York Herald? It was the Herald. Yeah. So there.
Amazing.
Wow. Yeah.
Crikey.
So his testimony is now. If you were to Google James McGann Titanic,
it'll be there.
You'll see it.
That's amazing. Great.
Growing up with brothers, did they keep nicking your stuff?
There you go. Of course they
did.
did.
Share your Thunderbirds toys? No, they would share it.
Yeah.
I remember we fought over Thunderbird 2.
So
of course.
You didn't each have a set of toys of your own. It was one lot to share.
That was the intention. Yeah. It was that we were assigned.
Yeah.
And that would have been poetic.
Yes.
I think Mark had that. Mark had Thunderbird 2.
Yeah.
I would have had 5 because I was Alan.
Yeah.
But we'd fight over them.
Brilliant.
Did they keep nicking your stuff? It was more clothing than toys.
Oh, yeah?
My dad used to say, because I explained, between the 5 of us, there's only 6 years. But between the boys, I think there's only less than 5 years between the 4 of us. So we're the same age, really.
Yeah.
And aside from Joe, who grew tall, he was tall. He was very tall, even as a child. What did my dad used to say? First up, best dressed. It's like whoever gets up first.
He gets the pick
gets
of the
best
clothes.
school uniform, literally like that. So that was, some little squabbles about that.
Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, thank you for that's a good question. That takes me back. Last one, Jonathan Bell asks, "Hi Paul, I went to see you in Jez Butterworth's The River at Greenwich Theatre. I very much enjoyed your performance in the play. My question is, you had to cut up a fish in the show. Did it smell too bad at any point? Make you feel sick if it did?" No, it didn't, Jonathan, because it had to be a fresh one every day.
Yes,
and
I
at the
can imagine.
local, in Jez Butterworth, of course, is perhaps our leading playwright right now. And most famous, I think, it's fair to say, for Jerusalem. Jerusalem's a masterpiece. This is the little one, the shorter one that he wrote after that. But it's rarely, you rarely see it. Anyway, we did it.
Yeah.
But in the play, the man character, has to, because he fishes and he brings a fish and he produces this sea trout out of a bag for his guest and guts it and cooks it on stage. So yeah, that's why I had to do that.
Yeah.
So the local wet fishmongers in Greenwich, the lads in there taught me how to do it.
Yeah.
I've still got the scars on my hands.
Oh, yes.
And because the custom knife had to be sharp. But,
yeah.
The things we do
I know.
For verisimilitude.
Yeah.
I'm glad you liked it, Jonathan. Now, I wish you were here because I'd love to hear what he.
Well, I saw it.
Did you see it?
I saw it too. Yeah, in Greenwich.
I can just remember. I mean, elliptical's not the word. I mean,
But
we didn't. We'd get into the bar most nights, and the audience, I mean, as you know, it's an hour and a bit straight through. Great, the best kind of theatre. And the audience would be in the bar, and they'd all be going, "What was that about?" kind of thing. And even though we did 30, 40 performances, we were never quite sure.
No, and I think I liked that. Though.
I know we liked that.
Yeah. Because are we in the past now? Are we in the present?
Sometimes we'd because Bosworth always intended that.
Yeah.
Maybe he didn't know what it was about himself, and the playwrights never tell you.
No.
Because our director did that thing of asking him. What's it all about, Jez? And he did that sort of Pinter thing. He said, "Why are you asking me?"
Yeah, exactly. It's
I only wrote it.
That's
so,
right.
So find out for yourself. So yes, but great.
But I think he took inspiration from the Yeats poem, isn't it? The Song of Wandering Angus. I went out and caught a tiny trout.
No, that was in it. Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, that was in it. Exactly right. Did you know that?
Yeah.
You knew that already.
Yeah, but only because the Waterboys have also covered it as,
there you
as
go.
a song, which is really it's one of my favourite.
Fair play to you then. You have more knowledge of that than
no,
I have.
only by chance. In fact, I brought a copy of the script today for you to sign for me later.
Oh, you're welcome. I will.
Now, so going back to your career then, I mean, to my mind, it was the monocled mutineer. Here we are as Percy Topless.
Yeah, look at him.
That kind of launched you. You did the sitcom with, I think, was it Robert Lindsay?
Yeah, I was explaining before. In them days, and this is only interesting to people who were interested, in actors and how actors sort of get along. In those days, the older actors, once you'd left the school, people must have said it to you as well. If you had, like we talk about, if you had an ambition, say, to be in somebody's movie, because it wasn't clear how you were meant to go about it, and older actors would just say to you, there seemed to be one sort of working maxim, and that was be good in a hit.
Yeah,
right. They'd say, I remember, so just be good in it.
Okay.
Take a TV job and be good in a hit. That's how you did it.
Yeah.
So they put me in this. I was cast in this. When did we do this? Well, I'll tell you how long ago this was. The miners' strike was.
Yeah.
So this was 84, 85.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
this is Alan Bleasdale.
It was Alan Bleasdale. It worked really well. It would have been a big Sunday night thing.
That's right. Yeah. Absolutely.
And again, interesting as well, because we've been talking about the kids in the 60s, or everyone watching TV and how communal TV was, and it was a sort of family experience. Your old man or whoever it was would circle things in the paper, and that's what you were going to watch. That you knew what your evening was going to be. Even to this point, so we're talking mid 80s now. TV, by and large, people were still doing that.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. There was still. They used to call sort of event TV.
Absolutely,
that was the name that people used to say that.
Yeah,
didn't they? It was, whether it was the thing with Jeremy Irons and Anthony Andrews.
Bride
said, it was event telly, the big Sunday night thing. It was still the thing, and because it was 16mm film, it still needed to be edited and made, and so it would take months. So you'd shoot something, you wouldn't see it till the following year. They'd wait till autumn and put it out. So the lead times were slower. The way of working was slower. Just the way it was. Yeah. So in a sense, the work was slightly different. Yeah. For us. Yeah. And as it changed, you changed with it. But this is lovely. I mean, this was 7 months. Wow. Which would have been, to me, the Brideshead would have been the same. Anything that's right. And then you sort of saw everybody at the BAFTAs. Yeah. That's what happened with the big TVs.
Absolutely. And 10, 15 million people watched it, I mean, it's massive ratings.
Yeah. Now, and of course that's different now. Yeah. Things are just different. Nothing stays the same. Yeah. I mean, perhaps prior to that, more people may have watched TV in the 60s. Yeah, sure. And I know now that, Call the Midwife, Stephen and Heidi's Call the Midwife. I think I'm right in saying, what did they get? 8, 9, 10?
Yeah,
that's
that's
considered a huge audience.
Massive hit, that's right, yeah, exactly.
But in those days,
Yeah.
you'd have 20 million people
Yeah.
watching snooker.
Yeah.
Well, I know 'cause
Quite
I
right
did
too.
I did a snooker. Before that, I'd been involved with Rob Lindsay.
Yes. Now, what was that called?
It was called Give Us a Break.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that was a BBC thing.
Yeah.
That was the first time I ever worked on a series on the telly.
And they knew they could make a sitcom about snooker and people would watch
People
because
were
snooker was
watching.
huge. Yeah.
I think the year or just around the same time as I would have gone into shooting this, I gave the prize out on Pot Black.
Oh.
I'm just saying.
Amazing.
And that was
Yeah.
So, I
Wow.
went. I remember because Mark, my brother, I said, I'm a bit nervous. I don't like doing that kind of thing, really. But I took Mark along. We went to Pebble Mill. It would have been. I took Mark along for moral support sort of thing. And but snooker was a huge.
Yeah.
So it's in that era.
Yeah, that's
And
right.
also, but that was interesting. What was interesting then, and what I take most from having been involved in the Mutineer, was an abiding fascination, which has stayed with me since for the First World War.
Right.
It was just at the time when the Second War was still
Currency.
That's
right.
and everything.
Yes.
Like I was explaining before, all the adults that we grew up around,
Yeah.
had been in the Second War, and the First had kind of nobody spoke of it really. And when we shot the Monocle Mutineer, there was a scene we filmed in Wales, which is meant to be the mutiny itself and the local town at Etap. And there was a scene which was true. It was that was a true. The series would eventually get into shtuck about truth and claims of truth.
Yeah.
It became a sort of cause celeb. But what was true was that once these lads had broken out of the camp in 1917, when the thing took place, there was a young. He would have been a lieutenant, James Davis, his name was, and he was the officer in charge of manning the bridge over which these lads who were running amok would have to cross to get into the town to run amok even more. And he had to try and stop them. And we shot this scene. And these lads were saying to him, as they said to Davis, at the time they said, look, our beef ain't with you, sir. We like you. Actually, you're all right. It was the Red Caps. It was the police. That they had a beef with.
Yeah.
And he took a decision to let him through. Anyway, why am I telling you this? Because he turned up.
Oh.
He turned up for the filming.
Oh, really?
Age 90.
Wow.
James Davis.
Wow.
And it was a big deal.
Yeah.
It was a huge deal.
That's extraordinary.
And it was a night shoot, and there he is. He's 90. I remember he was there. And what's more, in the war, he lost a leg. He was an infantryman. Lost a leg in the fighting. And he was absolutely old enough. There was a small cohort of people, because my granddad was one. He fought in both wars. If you were a certain age, you served in two.
Yeah.
He'd lost a leg, worked as an actor in the West End in the interim, in the interwar years, signed up for the second. He was the only one-legged infantryman in the. I'm just saying, this James Davis should be more famous than he is.
Absolutely.
He was there on this night. He was 90. He came to this thing. I remember because we lined up and he inspected us. We're there with all these extras and the heads of department were thrilled. The costume people, he was going along the line. And the costume people were taking notes. There was no kind of, they are Polaroids.
Yes,
and
right. Yeah.
And to make sketches and take notes.
God.
And James Davis, he'd look at us and go, yeah, but no, we used to do this. He said, remember being at school, you'd sort of modify your uniform or you
right.
He was going along the lines.
Of course.
It was wonderful.
Very nice.
And there we were, standing there with it, shooting a scene from 70 years later in this guy's life. Anyway, that really hit me.
Yeah.
And after that, I would, for years just traipse across the battlefields in the Western Front. I had a mate, we used to go across there a lot,
Yeah.
And then those people, those veterans then became they were interviewed, they were filmed.
Yeah.
They finally came out and spoke after after years and years.
Yeah.
And I fell in with them. I got to know. I knew by the end. I shared a stage with Harry Patch. And
oh, really?
Oh, yeah. We did festivals together, and so eventually they got to speak, and they got to testify, and and people really then got to know about the.
Yeah.
Well, and that, I think that sort of, it's one of those things that now, even 40 odd years later, people still say, yeah, I watched that. And again, to my point, that, and I remember where I was with my old man, I was with me dad. It was still, people still associate, they remember exactly where they were.
Absolutely.
And I wonder now, will people still... I don't know that they'll have the similar associations. With, because where they're watching stuff on.
Everyone's watching something different in a different room, aren't they? On a different device,
kind of thing. So that's past, that's gone.
Yeah,
I think TV's not. I don't know. I think something's been lost.
We often hear from people of our age who grew up with this stuff, and the main feeling they get when they watch it is one of kind of warmth and fuzzy memories of watching it with their parents or their grandparents, and it kind of takes them back to a safe place, So there's a great nostalgia about it as well.
Nostalgia is a strange one, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, it can be.
It can be rather like I was saying before. One's memory is so that's not to be trusted anyway. After decades, I always like having a different bunch of people around just to.
Keep it on the straight and narrow.
Kind of thing, keep you honest, about the way things were.
Yeah.
Also, again, thinking back to the mutineer in that period, TV changed then. Things were happening. That was exactly around the time that the new companies were Breakfast TV started in '82. That was going to change. The franchises were going to come up at the end of them. The Thatcher government. The Thatcher government the three Thatcher governments were very particular about what they expected. The drama or the tone of drama that got into trouble. The thing that we were. That. Well, it was that. So that was interesting.
Well, that's Alan Bleasdale as well, isn't it?
Bleasdale got into shtick. Wrong. It wasn't his fault.
Yeah, it's a drama.
It's a drama, and this is exactly what he. His point, and what's more, the book that it came from, although it was written by a couple of journalists, Bill Allison and John Fairley. John Fairley was from Pebble Mill. He was a TV maker himself. Yeah. But the book that the Monocle Mutineer comes from, called The Monocle Mutineer, it's great.
Yeah.
It's racy. There's no footnotes, and there's no, it's a bit fast and loose. So, and Bleasdale then was doubly fast and loose. I think I'm quite right. He was a dramatist. I think it was the only time that Alan had ever been a hired gun. Because he just only ever did his own thing. The black stuff had just been on, and it was still the best thing I've ever seen on television.
There you go. That's right.
Certainly. So anyway, so that was the period. Interesting and nice to be, exciting to be, a young actor there.
Yeah, absolutely. To be in the thick of it,
trying to get a start.
Extraordinary. And
that's right. Things were happening.
Yeah.
I just think it was, looking back. I mean, there seemed to be more work for us. I don't want to turn into that. I don't want to be that old ham.
It was better in our day.
I'm not going to say it because it's simply not true. And I can remember, even Robert Lindsay, right, if he's watching this, Bob, it's true. Bob's 10 years older than I am. And I can remember working with him and him going, it's all over.
Yeah,
it was better.
Right.
And he was 32 then. I'm thinking,
wow.
Don't even start. Maybe I'm just joking. But so I don't want. I'm not. I don't want to be that lad or that old ham.
Yeah.
But just like when I got started, I was in things like Panorama specials. Panorama every month in that era would shoot a scripted drama.
Really?
It's almost like Alan Bleasdale said at the time, and I know he was only half joking, that the effective national theatre at that time was on the television. The best writers were working on television. And, like I said, one of the first things I did was a Panorama special about the Solidarity Uprising in Poland.
Yeah.
So it was a current story.
Yeah.
It had to be current.
Yeah.
a really good writer, whoever, Stephen Polycop, whoever it was, would write the thing quickly. They'd get a company of people together to shoot it. It would be turned around really quickly because the story might be gone in 4 months. And you'd be in it. And that would be an hour and a half long. And that would go out on a Sunday. So there'd be that. Every channel, all 4 of them, at that point had a single plays policy, as they say. So there'd be play for today, there'd be playouts, there'd be different things. So there was work. There was work for the writers, there was work with the crews. Remember first arriving at the BBC and first to work, say, on a play, and you'd get shown around, and there'd be some older person saying, this is the world's biggest film unit. And it was. Bigger than any Hollywood studio. There'd be, whatever it was, 40 odd, 50 odd units at any one time going around. And it was important that, they said that to you. You were meant to accept the gravity of it. And your place,
That's right.
And it was that was the way it was then. But of course now, looking back, it was the last knockings. I see it now. That had been the way for maybe 20, 25 years, and it was all about to. It's all about to change. So that was us. That was us.
Now, I mean, I don't want to talk about it, but we're going to have to, aren't we?
I think we probably should. Yeah.
We have to mention Doctor Who.
Don't say you sound like it's an onerous task.
We've got to talk about Doctor
Who. It's a
Who.
mysterious task, isn't it? Because it's. Subject anyway, because we're not. No one's quite sure, are they?
No one's really quite sure. That's right. All bets are off.
Just recently, in the last week or so, because of these AI pictures, there's me and Billy Piper working together. If only.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, and so people going, come on, it has to be true, doesn't it? The rumour milk sort of kicks in. And there's this picture of me and Billy, I'm in costume, she's,
I see. But it could be true. And you're just...
What do you mean it could be true?
Have you signed an NDA? You just can't tell us, and maybe it is true.
You're making this thing worse.
You're part of the problem.
You're part of the problem.
That's true in so many ways.
I don't know. I often find myself saying to... particularly we go to shows and stuff where lots of fans are. We talk about things and they're always going, is it true? Is it true that I've heard a rumor that and one often finds oneself having to say to them, look, you got to let them down, obviously, because they never. It's never true. Rumors are only ever rumors. But I do say to them, quite aside from anything else, it's not how showbiz works. Things, we talked before about how things are put together and the lead times, what is true, generally, you're an actor yourself, you'll notice, when things get made, when things are green, when things get commissioned, when things are going to happen, what's the very last thing that they do? They cast it.
Yeah.
Why? Because actors are 10 a penny.
Yeah.
There's plenty of us. So if it's who's available, are you around? Mm-hmm. Most of the time, and particularly with something like Doctor Who, there's a story. For example, I was in a very short thing, a 6-minute thing that Moffat made 10 years ago. On his phone, I'm saying, if I do, would you? And I'm going, when? He said next week. So I think this is how it is. This is how the show is. It's always next week. So almost by definition, if you're these people are going, well, I've heard that in 6 months' time. I'm going, well,
who knows?
There you go.
Yes.
It can't be true then,
that's
can it?
Right,
because that's not how stuff gets made. But it gets people excited. And, But quite honestly,
I know nothing.
And if I had to say zip, and if I was sworn to secrecy, I would just tell you I was sworn to secrecy. That's happened. That's happened before. When we made the thing I just described, the Night of the Doctor, it's called, which was going to go out at the 50th. We all had to keep stum about it, which is part of it.
Yes,
keep secret.
Right.
But again, the nature of keeping stum, that's not the hard bit. It's easy just not to say anything. That's easy. But of course, in the age of spoilers and the risk is that, obviously, if 60 people work on it, it's on a bunch of hard drives, something's going to get leaked. That particular one, and I remember it well because it was my birthday that year, November 14th, and Stephen texted me 10 o'clock in the morning, said, look, it should go out because it was going to have to go out on the 22nd with everything else, like a red button thing. He said, someone's going to leak it. He said, I'm going to put it out now. I'm going to put it out today. So that's why that happened, the way that it did.
Yeah.
So propitious in one way. I mean, good for us in that it had a week, 10 days to itself.
Yeah.
Got millions of YouTube hits.
Yeah.
Became a thing.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
that was exciting.
Yeah, that's right.
I just don't get the... I mean, I understand, you can't have cliffhangers now because schedules aren't the same. Stuff goes out over there, regions of... It's different. So the writing has to change. The expectations are going to be different.
It's a very different beast, isn't it?
It is. And,
right.
whatever. But that's a problem for the writers.
Yeah.
But I just remember the excitement of it. And, and I think it will always be like that, to be involved in something like long running like Doctor Who. Of course, it's not like any other.
It never leaves you, I guess.
I've done stacks and stacks of
course
work
you have,
over years, but that's a different one.
Yeah. And you're still the Doctor. That's the extraordinary thing, isn't it? You're all of you are still the Doctor. As long as you're around, you're the Doctor.
You're like being the American president.
That's right.
President for life. It never leaves. It's just a thing. When again, the fans know this, but for anyone that doesn't, when I was asked initially to audition to do it 30 years ago, 94, 95, and to get involved. My agent then was Janet Fielding.
Yeah,
right. She was my theatrical agent. Now, I hadn't watched much TV in the 80s. I certainly hadn't watched Doctor Who in the 80s. I hadn't seen her in it. I hadn't even known, really, I hadn't paid attention. I hadn't twigged that she'd been an actor. She was just my agent.
Great.
And she'd happened to have been, she was companion to Peter Davison.
Yeah, brilliant.
So when that happened, she was suddenly, and I remember her saying, Paul, think hard, and this ain't like any other.
Yeah. They'll be asking you about this on podcasts in 30 years' time.
No, that's impossible. Yeah, but she, every word she said came true.
Yeah, that's right.
In fact, I remember Janet came. Well, we shot the thing, the pilot. We made a pilot for America. The idea was that, that Doctor Who was going to, because the Beeb had got rid of it, kicked it into the long grass 4 or 5 years before. We went to the States. Amblin, I think, got in. Fox, Universal, they got involved, and we were going to shoot it in America. We made a pilot in order for it to go to series. Never did. But when we shot the pilot, Janet came. She was there. We were in Vancouver shooting it. And I remember seeing, the first time I ever saw, or paid attention at least, to what I now recognise instantly as a like a PhD level Doctor Who fan, a young kid that has no right to know all of that. You're probably one. And it was like 1 a.m. They were all night shoots. This thing we were shooting was like 10 to midnight. It was all night shoots. And there we are, it's January, we're freezing. And this kid, now he's coming up to me and he's talking to me. But he's doing that thing while he's talking to me, he's looking over my shoulder like that. He's not looking at me.
Ah, yes.
And it's Janet.
Oh,
and he walked away and I heard him talking to Janet. And he did that thing of, he told her everything that she'd done.
Yeah.
In order.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the first time, now I'm used to it. I hear that now.
Yeah.
And it was when he'd walked away, she looked at me and she said, "Did you get it?
There you go.
Did you get it? Yeah.
It's all ahead of you.
I mean, but it's been quite the ride, weird. What do you think? I mean, I'm the eighth of, I think, what is it now, 15?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And in that 30 years of being involved in it, I've been on screen less than 2 hours.
Yeah, right.
It's all on audio.
That's strange, isn't it?
Hundreds of audios. So the whole period is it's just weird. It's a weird. I mean, I'm glad I'm in it.
Yeah.
Because there was a time in the period that the fans call the wilderness years.
Yeah.
You got to laugh. When I thought I was going, definitely he was the number 8 was going to go the way of Peter Cushing. That's the one.
Oh, okay.
They
Yeah.
don't talk about.
Yeah, right.
Incidentally, and again in that same period, 67 it would have been. 66, 67, we would have gone to the pictures to see Doctor Who in the
yes, of
Cushing
course.
film
Yes.
in colour.
Yes.
Yeah. Blue Daleks,
Amazing.
red Daleks,
Yep.
black Daleks. That hit us like a Comet.
I can imagine.
That got us into it. Anyway.
Yeah.
So I thought, that's me. Doctor Who.
Perfect. I'm going to play a clip from Chimes of Midnight, one of your Big Finish
Please
stories.
do.
Yep.
I don't think I've ever heard it.
So Christmas is coming up. It's
I have heard it because the Beeb. I have. This is one I've heard.
Oh, yeah, it's
the
been on
Beeb put it out
Radio
on Radio 3 or
4.
Radio 4 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Or was it during COVID? They played it.
There you
and
go.
I listened to
It's
it.
amazing.
And I thought it was fantastic.
Yes.
The one that's set in a house.
That's it.
Yeah.
And it's a tradition amongst Big Finish Doctor Who listeners and fans to play this at Christmas. So it seems appropriate we have a listen now.
Let's hear it.
Well, Charlie, where are we?
I don't know, Doctor.
India
It's
Fisher.
too dark. You were supposed to be getting me to Singapore, 1930, remember?
An Edwardian Christmas. How lovely.
I never much liked plum pudding. Cook always used to make far too much of it.
Oh, I love a bit of plum pudding, though.
Charlie,
Christmas
there'll be a death
time.
here soon. Edith, what are you saying?
But even this is some time ago now, isn't it? I mean, this must be 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Don't you forget me, Charlie.
The world was younger then.
Yeah, we all, yeah.
Mr. Shaughnessy, you're pointing a gun at us. Yes, sir. That's not a very nice way for a well-bred butler to behave, is it?
You are not to go upstairs. It is not our place.
It's mocking us. Whatever this force is, it's mocking us.
Nice. Oh.
I mean, it's so
Happy
evocative and
days.
tingly, isn't it?
Happy days. It's been great to make, and as well, I've got to say, audio in the last 2 or 3 years,
Yeah.
it's boom.
Well, again, COVID was
Again,
massive
it's
for
just
audio.
completely brought
Have
it
you got a
back.
home setup for recording things like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, after COVID, everybody lives
Exactly.
indoors. Yeah,
That's right.
We record stuff indoors.
I mean, with the Big Finish stuff that spans decades now, are you conscious that you're kind of owning the character more? I was watching a documentary about the TV movie, and the writer was saying how they had so much input from so many different producers, and he found it impossible to take notes, contradictory notes all the time. So he felt it was kind of compromised in a way.
He's one of the writers of it.
Yeah. Do you feel that now with Big Finish and the work you've done as the Doctor since then, you've been able to kind of own that character properly, as it were?
Was he one of the audio writers?
It was
a
Philip
TV
Segal. Philip Segal.
Oh, Philip.
Yeah,
He produced them.
That's
The
right,
thing
yeah.
did it
And
in,
he was saying there were too many cooks essentially on the TV movie. It became uncomfortable.
Yeah, and I can we mix our metaphors? It sort of fell between two stools in the sense that, Philip was convinced. There's the point that about us going to North America to make it.
Yeah.
Phil was convinced that there was sufficient of, anyway, an American audience that the thing would get a bite and would get made.
Yeah.
Which seems ludicrous now because that's where the fandom is. But
Yes.
there wasn't there wasn't just the ratings weren't high enough.
Yeah.
They made something else instead.
Yeah.
Didn't it go out opposite like the end of a long run
Roseanne.
sitcom? Roseanne. That's
It
what I was
Roseanne,
thinking
maybe.
of.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
It was huge. Yeah.
Anyway, it's
Yeah.
just never, it's America. It was like and also in America they have, maybe they still do, there's the kind of Grand National of pilots.
Yeah.
There's a week where they put
That's
all the
it.
pilots out against each other,
Bonkers, isn't it?
And,
Strange system.
we came second, I think,
Yeah.
to something. And that was true then, I think. Big Finish came in the gap before 2005.
Yeah.
When,
Yeah.
when the series came back from Cardiff
Yeah.
with Chris Eck.
Yeah.
So we kicked off, I think, 2001.
Right.
So for a while, at least, we were the only
Yeah.
not the only show in town. There were novelizations and other things, but we were the thing. We were the new adventures, and then what would happen and has happened since. Is Big Finish and Cardiff are essentially one and the same, and in the sense that they share personnel and the writers, the ideas. Because Cardiff did hold sway. They would if an idea was so good, it would appear on TV.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was all the same people.
Yeah.
So it's been great. And it leaves what I would say is it's being Doctor Who as well. It leaves things open. The very nature of it means that you can go back.
Yeah.
You can go backwards. You can recycle. You can
Yes, that's right.
essentially do what you want.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't think that it's over.
Okay. Good to hear.
And I don't think that my tenure is over.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hope not.
Yeah.
It'd be great to go back.
Because I remember that pilot of yours, when it was shown over here, that was the first time I'd watched any Doctor Who in full. When the BBC repeated Thunderbirds in the 90s, they had some like Pertwee and Hartnell's repeated alongside those. I'd seen bits. But that TV movie of yours, I saw when it was shown here, and I loved it. And I would have happily watched a whole series of that.
It still has it has its moments. And like any pilot, you see a pilot of anything. And, most pilots, by their nature, have to cram a lot.
Yeah.
You're trying to sell something, so everything has to be present and correct. Everything, all the stuff your best ideas have to sort of be in it. You got to front load it, so to speak.
Yeah.
And that was unusual because when in '96, Philip was trying to do that to a new or a prospective American audience, while not putting the noses out of joint of people back in the UK who'd followed it for 25, 30 years.
Yeah.
And sometimes it worked and sometimes it didn't. By those lights, it didn't quite do either. I don't think. But now looking at it, it looks expensive. Yeah. It was.
Yes.
They call it the movie because you could have shot a couple of movies in Britain for the same price, kind of thing.
Imagine,
And it just was what it was, It was unusual. It was a strange, exciting time. The time for, when I think back to the way things were, our kids were little then. The children were 4 or 5 years old, like we were watching Gerry Anderson, and there was that time for them. And there we were in Canada. I had to sign a contract, standard. You can't work in an American pilot if you don't sign a 6-year contract.
Wow!
I mean, if the thing's successful, they've got you for 6 years. Yeah. It's one-sided. If it's not successful, the phone don't ring. It's like that's it. It's like it's over. And that so. But even so, like making a pilot in that under those circumstances, now I completely sympathise with with people that make them.
Yeah,
because of course 95 whatever it is, percent of pilots never goes to series. Everybody knows that. But while you're making them, you can't work in that spirit.
Yeah.
You have to, everybody's So I remember when we were there. We were saying, well, see you in October when we're back, and
this is going to be the one.
They showed us a few schools that the children were going to go to, houses where we were going to live. And our kids were going to be Canadians. And it was all going to, that's the life of an actor.
Yes.
And then,
no, there you go.
Then it didn't.
The phone didn't ring.
The phone don't ring, and then you're just doing something else like 3-4 weeks later. So that's how it is. That's how it was. That's what I remember from that time.
Talking of Christmas traditions, let's go back to the worlds of Gerry Anderson.
I want more questions from the...
I mean, you can. Do you want to take some more? There are loads in there, Paul.
Let's just grab another one.
Go on then.
Let's see. Throw me a curveball.
Yes, it might be now. You're going to regret that now.
Yeah, maybe I will. If you could guest star in an Anderson production, which would you choose?
Oh, there you go.
Would you prefer a live-action series and be the alien of the week, like Christopher Lee in Space 1999, or be the voice of the latest Mysteron agent?
Yeah.
You've answered it, mate. It would definitely be Captain Scarlet.
Would it?
It would be I would like to be in Captain Scarlet.
Yeah, really. Often considered, again, one of the darker series, about a man.
It was. It definitely was. And, there's no other way to put it. The resurrection thing.
Yes, that's right.
We were Irish Catholic children,
right?
And very, church going. I mean, why am I saying that? Well, only because it's a thing, and even at that time, it was very compelling. I mean, talk about if there's only 7 myths, that's what I want to pick.
Yes,
that's right. And we were kind of, oh wow, where's this going? So, so it had a darkness to it, which we loved, I think.
Yeah, that's right.
But then, coupled with Singing Ringing Tree and a few other things that were around, and anyway, the sort of the diet of real world darkness also that was coming into.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it?
Like I say, the war was on.
That's right. Yeah. Absolutely.
When the telly was, and when you'd come home from school and the war would be on. So
stuff
was going on. But Captain Scarlet that seemed to be a nice inflection point. It was good. It was a really it felt slightly more grown up.
Yeah.
It felt like we were all going on a journey.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, the same tropes of, infiltrators and
Yeah, the
spies
Mysterons. Yeah,
and,
that's right. And very much the kind of the
'cause
enemy
you never
within.
saw the Mysterons. The Mysterons were...
They possessed people in
They possessed people.
You just see the rings going over the dead body and then the resurrection.
So it's very much the enemy within. Any one of us could be a Mysteron agent.
These were very
Paranoia.
potent things, weren't they?
Yeah.
Particularly to children who were, soaking it all up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, again, I'm only half joking about the resurrection thing. I mean, that was...
Yeah.
It was kind of thrilling.
That's right. I hadn't really considered that in those terms.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
stories are stories and myths are myths and heroes are heroes and heroes' journeys. And, like I say, for the most part, there were Westerns, weren't they? Space Westerns.
That's right.
And that's as it should have been, I think. Because, because it's great. The things are nicely wrapped up and... the baddie gets their comeuppance and,
Well, often in Captain Scarlet, the baddies would win.
The baddies
which was
would win.
unusual for shows of that era, yeah.
I think kids appreciated that. We liked that.
That's real life in a way, isn't it?
7-8-year-olds, I mean,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's your life experience. Sometimes the bad guys do.
Sometimes,
triumph.
Yeah. And, things would be sort of open-ended.
Yeah.
And there'd be other things on the TV at the time and, French imports and stuff coming in from Europe, which... you'd be going, is that the end? And you wouldn't, it was sort of, and then it would all be left hanging, and so you learned even just by watching them and then talking about them, to accept these, these
open-ended stories.
And so you learned, I suppose, you just learned to sort of to get to like, more sort of elliptical things and longer arcs of things. And deeper, sometimes quite dark and upsetting things that, we shared rooms. We had a little house and sort of bunk beds and stuff. So we talk into the night. And I can remember conversations, you'd have to talk some of these things out. One of them, I don't like it. And you'd have to sort of calm you. After certain episodes, you would. You'd have to sort of say, no, it's okay. It's okay. It's, I think it's going to be fine. And you'd sort of live the adventures out.
Yeah. Well, let's leave dark things to one side for now. Let's have a look at a very Christmassy scene. This is from Stingray. Have a look at this while I crack open the
mince pies. Again, seeing these things in colour is like
amazing,
it's such a shock. Oh look. They were always sceptical themselves, weren't they, about the full body thing and the walking thing.
Yeah, but here they are skeptical.
Look at that.
And leaning into it as well. It's beautifully done.
Ice dancing. So they'd sort of perfected
by now, exactly.
The movements.
Looks like a mince pie.
I'd love one. It's Christmas. Thank you. Sorry. Thank you. This is like that's the feel of a long commercial.
Yes. It doesn't have anything to do with the story. It's just being cute for the sake of being cute.
Don't let me leave without me telling you our Sylvia Anderson story.
Oh, okay, great.
Just reminded me of seeing her there. Yeah.
There.
Oh, look.
Charming. There we are. Little Christmas trees. And what a progression there from the clip of Torchy we saw earlier. The very kind of crude puppets and
well, presumably the budgets must have
budgets were
gone
bigger.
Oh, yes,
And of course they were learning.
Like freedom.
Yeah.
Did they have problems? Oh, we get a little bit nerdy here, but would they have had problems? I don't know, like set painters would have had problems going from colour to black and white. There must have been all kinds of considerations.
They went over to America to study how colour television was being done out there. And one of them, the set designers, came back with a book, How to Light for Colour Television. And he tried to follow this book for Stingray. And then a few episodes in, he was like, that's not working. I'm just going to throw the book out and do it my way. And it works.
Right, yeah.
And some of the colour work in that show is gorgeous, yeah.
Because famously, didn't the opening titles of Stingray start in black and
They
white?
start in black and white and then pull out into colour as like...
So if you were watching on a colour TV, it would start in black and white and then suddenly pop into your living room in colour. Midway
What,
through
like
the
the
opening
big reveal?
titles. Yeah. So it started in black and white.
Except
God,
you didn't have a colour TV till
very
10 years
theatrical,
later.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Amazing.
just did that on purpose.
Yeah.
God, remember though, that cusp of, some people had them, some people
Yes,
didn't,
that's
when
right.
they were first arriving.
That's right.
And how expensive. And I'm going to
Have you got enough left in there?
choke to death on a live podcast. Yeah.
Great.
Yes, I remember him well.
That would be an exclusive, wouldn't it? There's your thumbnail, Ross. Paul McGann dies.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, who's good at the Heimlich?
Tell us your Sylvia Anderson story. Now you've got your mouth full.
Me and my brothers, Joe, Mark and Stephen, we've worked all together. What am I talking with my mouth full? You talk, man. Sing us a song. Sing us on. I wish I was a spaceman. Go on.
You
Across the sky.
alive. What was it?
I'd fly around the universe.
I'm Fireball XL5. La la
No,
la
it's
la
getting
la
sketchy.
la.
Something Mars. My heart would be a fireball. Dum, dum, dum.
That's it.
Fireball.
Dun, 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 dun. When something into your...
The music.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
the music was always thrilling, wasn't it? And I love that end sequence of, what is it? It's Thunderbirds, isn't it? No, it's Stingray, Marina, staring at the picture of Troy Tempest. And you'd be played out with
This
that.
love theme, this beautiful...
Marina,
Yeah.
Aquamarine. And even as kids were kind of going, what's going on there?
Yeah.
She's looking sort of, smitten and plaintive and yeah, just great memories. Me and my brothers, all actors, of course, and we have worked all together twice, once on stage and once on the telly, and we all were in a stage musical called Yakety Yak in 1982. And transferred to the West End. So we stayed there in 1983. And we were at the old Astoria Theatre, which now is gone. They knocked it down to build the Tottenham Road train station. Anyway, there it was, and it became a rock gig, and it was nice, sweaty and atmospheric, good old place to play. Anyway, that's where we were, and this thing became a hit. And we sang and we played and we danced and we acted and like a 50s rock and roll. It was I think I'm right in saying, in fact I know I'm right in saying, it was the first of what they now call the jukebox musicals. You'd have like, I don't know, all the Frankie Valli songs in that musical, all the so-and-so songs are in this one.
Yeah.
Fats Waller's gone over there. Yeah. And this one was Lieber and Stoller, Jerry Lieber, Mike Stoller. It was only Lieber and Stoller music. They wrote Yakety Yak, they wrote Hound Dog, they wrote all these great hits. So it was 50s New York, So this thing was so popular when we were in the West End that we had to do midnight matinees. Oh. So the rest of the West End could come and see it. I'm just saying. Anyway. And it was giddy. We were young. Yeah. And I'll just say, but we used to. Anyway, after one show, we're back and we all shared a dressing room. Although there were loads of dressing, we all still kept the same dressing room. The noise that we used to make, whether we were at home or at work, or when we were all together. Anyway, the dressing room, and there's a knock on the door of the dressing room, and must have gone on for a couple of minutes because we're making such a racket.
Yeah. And
suddenly and the door is opened. And Sylvia Anderson is standing in the doorway, and the noise stopped dead. It went. I looked around the room, and my brothers are like, "It's Lady Penelope.
Yeah,
it's our Lady Penelope.
Yes, that's right.
And now she's speaking.
Yeah,
she'd seen the show, and she's talking in that thrilling,
how wonderful
voice. Yeah. And we must have just turned into 6-year-olds.
Yeah, that's right.
Like that again.
Yeah.
I thought later on, when I wrote in Sophie Aldred's book, that, like they said, the Queen the old queen must have thought the whole world smelled of fresh paint.
Yes.
Sylvia must have thought, like most grown men she met, were just like arrested children. No, they must have just like.
I mean, that's fair enough.
We were exactly like. I don't often see my brothers like completely speechless, dry in the mouth. They were. It was her, and she came back, and I think she even had a cup of tea with us. And that's my.
You met Lady Penelope.
We met the great Sylvia Anderson.
Took tea with her, yes.
Yeah.
And that felt like a big deal. And never mind that, for weeks, whoever was the visiting American stars, movie stars were coming to see this show, and they'd be dancing on stage at the end, and they were all there. She was the big deal.
Brilliant.
She was the big deal.
Yeah,
funny.
That's
because it's like it's part of your life,
Yeah.
I remember when we did similarly, just doing Big Finish once. Bernard Cribbins came. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, this is a deity.
You have to put your professional face on.
Those times you feel they're the best times.
Yeah.
They're the times when it's like it feels like the best privilege.
Yeah.
Of when you either meet those people or work with those people.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's the best time.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Now, Paul, it's time to choose our random episode of a random. If you're still prepared to stick around and watch it with us, use the big red button there to engage the randomizer to choose a random episode from a random Gerry Anderson series for us to watch together.
Yeah, it's the randomizer.
Are you game? I mean, did you bring your sonic screwdriver with you? Instead of pressing, do you travel with your sonic these days?
The tool of my trade.
Look at that.
What do I do? A fan wrote to me last year, said to me, it must have been one of the signed pictures, said, you're holding it the wrong way round.
Oops.
Yeah. That's
Okay. Have you learnt your lesson?
Fans.
Is it that way?
There we go.
Take the button in one hand, and I think you just point your sonic at the button, and that'll do the work. Let's see what happens.
God, you're here.
Okay. Let's try.
What's going on? I'm feeling my molecules change.
Yes.
Well done. So we're scrolling through all of Gerry's series. Let's see where we land. We're past Thunderbirds.
Oh, okay.
And into Captain Scarlet.
Wow.
Have you ever heard of Alan Hansen?
Yes.
Alan Hansen. Go on.
One of the greatest Liverpool captains.
Right, I thought so, yes.
Captain Scarlet.
Of course.
Yes. Look at him in a photograph.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
It's Captain Scarlet to the life.
There's something about Andy Burnham as well that's very, don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, next time you see him.
Scarlet-esque.
Is there a football personality who some people compare to Captain Black?
Oh,
well,
very
Lovely.
very sort of dour.
Yeah,
that's
gaunt
it.
and such.
5 o'clock
yes.
shadow. So we're going to be watching an episode of Captain Scarlet, if that's all right with you.
I'm thrilled. Lay on.
Chris,
in colour as well. I
in
feel very
colour.
spoiled.
Yes.
So for those of us who don't know, tell us a little bit about Captain Scarlet and what we might expect.
Well, Captain Scarlet, as we've discussed previously, was a bit darker than the previous Anderson
Yeah.
shows, yes. Full colour, it's about an organisation named Spectrum that are defending the Earth against attacks from evil aliens on Mars known as the Mysterons. Their number one agent, Captain Scarlet over there, is indestructible,
Yeah.
which is a bit useful in
Yeah.
fighting these
in storytelling.
attacks.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's right.
yes.
Another evolution we've been talking about, from Torchy to Stingray and everything. But Captain Scarlet, smaller heads on the puppets, which kind of gave a more realistic appearance, you might say. Whereas Thunderbirds had sort of larger, out-of-scale
That was
heads.
a decision then.
Yeah.
Why would they have had
Just realism.
outsized heads?
For the mechanism
of
inside.
course.
Were in the heads, and then they moved them into the chest, so they could afford to make the heads more to scale.
Yeah.
That's a funny. Funny you should say that. Again, another tangent I can take down.
Go on.
But when did I read that? I read it in some film book. But when they look back at like movie stars through the decades, quite a lot of them, the men particularly, those men with large heads and kind of smaller bodies, photographed better.
Oh,
there's something about.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll have to look at next time I see you. We'll look into it. There's something about them. I think they were onto something when
So we're going to be watching an episode, Attack on Cloudbase. Here's a review from IMDb. Easily the show's darkest episode. Attack on Cloudbase is taken literally when the Mystrons show up on Earth and open fire.
So this must be towards the end of the whole...
This is the penultimate episode.
Oh, well, I was going to say, because I can sort of remember it.
Yeah.
Oh,
really?
I don't remember how... I mean, I'm going back 50-odd years.
Yeah.
Oh, God, well, I'm about to find out.
You are indeed. Characters being killed
so
off.
They show up.
Yeah.
Yes.
But presumably we don't see them.
Wow.
It's exciting stuff, this reviewer says, and would have made for a wickedly bleak finale if they'd stopped the show here.
Instead of the clip show
finale that we get
with the Inquisitor.
So they obviously... The last episode of all is, unfortunately, a montage.
As it often was with the
of previous episodes. Yeah, which is a bit of a shame. And before we watch it, we're also going to give you what we like to call a Fab Fact.
Now, time for Fab Facts.
Right, so we're going to be giving you just a little bit of information to prime you for watching this episode, something to look out for when we watch Attack on Cloudbase later on. Chris?
Yes, we've spoken before on the podcast about how props, models, and even puppets were reused again and again across various Anderson series, mostly as an effective way of saving money. Attack on Cloudbase is the only episode of Captain Scarlet to feature the set of the radar room. There we go. Very important spot on Cloudbase. And it's stuffed full of bits of sets, other sets that eagle-eyed viewers might have seen before.
Okay.
So the curved computer console there.
Oh, so stuff's got recycled.
Yes,
exactly.
That was seen in the control tower at London Airport. Then again in the TVR-17 control room in White Snow.
So both Captain Scarlet episodes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
The viewer hanging from the ceiling in the radar room, this screen thing.
Over on the right
Over
there.
on the right, yes.
The green thing, yeah.
That's on the bridge of Base Concorde Patrol Vessel number 3.
Over there.
In Renegade Rocket.
But the other way up,
there,
they turned it up.
Yeah, that's right.
I see, yeah.
And finally, the large unit behind Captain Magenta in the radar room is also in the first Thunderbirds movie.
So those 3 screens behind him on the ceiling are also there.
Yeah. Repainted and refurbished.
Yeah, so they were not shy of using what they had in the warehouse just to save a bit of time and money, and it makes absolute sense, doesn't it?
And it dates it in that sort of era as well, doesn't it?
Oh, it's lovely, isn't it?
You know,
Yeah, of their time and yet timeless.
Not make do amend, but recycle what you have.
Absolutely right. And what you have is pretty good. And also, this is just it's the only time you ever see this set. So why would you ever build an entire set from scratch if you can make do with what you've got? So there you go. So we are going to be watching Attack on Cloudbase with Paul McGann on the randomizer for the next Gerry Anderson podcast in 2 weeks' time. So join us then. In the meantime, Paul, before you go, I know you came on the train.
I did.
But I want to got you on something that might be big enough for you to take back. If you want to open it now, you're more than welcome. Or if you want to take it back for Christmas, that's up to you.
I'm going to put it under the tree.
Oh,
It's going to go to a good home. I promise you. I'll put it under the tree.
Yeah,
and I'll think of you.
Oh,
when I do. Beautifully wrapped, incidentally.
Well, I'm not going to say anything, but thank you
There
anyway.
we are.
Yeah,
you missed
no.
your calling.
Paul McGann, thank you so much.
What a pleasure.
Thank you. And Merry Christmas.
What a pleasure.
Merry Christmas,
pleasure
everybody.
Merry Christmas to everybody.
This is the voice of the Podsterons.
Well,
what an amazing
yes, thank you to Paul McGann for joining us for this month's podcast.
bumper interview. Yes,
Incredible. Paul McGann.
Wonderful memories there. Yes.
And Paul McGann is now
Paul McGann. It's almost like I've told that one before.
Yes, he's been waiting all day to use that.
but now it's time for Voice of the Podstrons, because you have been getting in touch in your droves at podcast@gerryanderson.com. But first of all, Chris,
Santa's been.
mugs.
Mugs.
What's going on?
Everywhere.
Mugs galore.
This is a set of Christmas gifts, rather kindly sent in to us by David Hollis.
Lovely.
Yes, we each have one.
Yes.
So
I've got Podley on a bike.
I've got a selection of vehicles, model vehicles.
Great.
Here. And I've also got a picture of.
Oh yes, it's a Dusty's Day in Leicester.
Yes.
And what do you have there, Ross?
This is one for Louise.
For Louise in the store. Yeah.
Gabrielle Drake.
Great.
And an eagle.
Yes.
On it. That's
and
nice. And then a
what else?
Thunderbird 2 launch bay. Thunderbird 1 launch bay.
Oh,
very nice, isn't it?
I do like that one. Yeah,
it's cool.
Yeah, beautiful.
And these are all pictures that David has taken himself. With
Ah,
the camera.
lovely.
The models, and we have lastly one here, Jamie the Boss.
The Boss
with Battlehawk.
Yeah, don't tell him that. Don't tell him he's the boss.
No, there was also the only person who sent us a Christmas card.
Ta-da.
Nobody else bothered. They don't love us anymore.
What? Sorry, just clear your throat a bit, Chris. How's that?
Moving on.
Right.
Yes.
Ross,
thank you, David.
Thank you, David. Would you like to take the first email?
Absolutely. Dear Jamie, Richard, and Chris.
It's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, very nice.
Just back from the pictures in Dundee. Thoroughly enjoyed Trapped in the Sky and Terror in New York City. I first watched Thunderbirds back in 1965, so to mark the auspicious occasion, I wore a dress, jacket with bag, all made in that year.
Oh, nice.
Nice idea.
Fab fact, Blanche from City of Fire is sitting at the back of the departure lounge in Trapped in the Sky.
I believe she is, yes.
I noticed the furry hat. And how appropriate.
Yes.
How appropriate that the hero who vainly attempts to board the Fire Flash was called Meddings.
Yes, bit of an in-joke there.
Not a coincidence, you know.
No, I doubt it, yeah.
Here's my suggestion for the next pair of episodes to get the Super Cinema treatment. Perils of Penelope and Day of Disaster. The latter having a particular resonance for anybody who regularly crosses the Forth Road Bridge.
Oh.
Don't know where that is.
Forth would be across the Firth of Forth, I would guess. Scotland.
Hands up, who here has crossed the Forth Road Bridge?
Who here?
Who here?
I may have done. I've been to.
You've been everywhere.
I've been up there.
Yeah.
Been up that way.
I don't think I have.
Fine, okay.
Oh, that's a good pair of suggestions.
Defo. I've bought Thunderbirds 1, 2, with 4 and 3 and have pre-ordered Thunderbird 5. This must be the corgis.
Oh, yes.
I've also just received the TV21 Thunderbirds Volume 1, much of which I remember, but was particularly interested in the Lady Penelope series, especially the Isle of Arran riddle, as I frequently visit that island. Interesting.
You know that one?
I do, yes, yes.
Okay.
Quite a early one, I think, but a good one. Yeah.
I wonder if the Isle of Arran is
We'll
represented.
have to go and investigate, yes, see how closely it matches the comic book art. Yeah.
Keep up the good work.
Oh,
Jane Ann Liston.
I wasn't going to, but I will now you mention it. Yeah. Great. Thanks, Jane. Amazing, isn't it? I wonder if you remember back to 1965 of seeing those original episodes as they were broadcast. Would you possibly imagine that 60 years later you'd be sitting in a cinema watching it with, 150, 200 other people? It'd be amazing, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But it happened.
Yeah. You were there.
One there for you, Chris.
Yes, indeed. This is from James Pilson Wood. It says, "Hi team, hope all is well."
Hello, James. Yes, fine, thanks.
We've just had a nice visit from the doctor, so we're all sorted. I wanted to share an experience I've had with the lovely people at Twins Effects in Wareham.
Oh, yeah? In Hertfordshire, yeah?
Hertfordshire,
That's right.
They're an effects company that deal with props for TV, film, and theatre productions, such as Now You See Me Too.
Sorry.
All right. And the Back to the Future musical. Time travel, okay. Not only do they have an extremely impressive collection of screen-used Doctor Who props, I've never seen so many Daleks in one place before. That's what you need for a Dalek, yes. But they also have a screen-used 1/3 scale Thunderbird 4 from the 2004 film.
Oh, wow.
Although opinions on the film are known, that's one way of putting it, yes.
Okay.
It is a thrill to be able to see and touch a piece of Thunderbird's history. And of course, I had to represent Thunderbird 4 with a retro Anderson stored t-shirt. Picture attached.
Look at this. Look at him. There, that's great.
Also note, I'm wearing my Brains Blue glasses.
Yes.
However, this is not the most interesting bit.
Oh, thank
Stand
goodness.
by for the most interesting bit. The wonderful co-owner of the Twins FX company is a man named Gary Hardy Brown, who happened to have family live near to Gerry and remembers playing with Jamie when they were young.
Oh, okay. So similar age then, I guess.
I would guess so.
Right,
yeah.
all right.
I was captivated by his passion for and their collection of props, both purchased from productions and produced in-house. And I really feel he would be an amazing guest on the podcast. All the best as always, and keep up the amazing work. James Pilson Wood.
Great.
Yeah.
Thanks, James.
We'll always take suggestions for
Yes.
things.
Join the very long list.
We have got we're good till what, May is it?
Certainly, stretching into spring next year. That's right.
Including Chris Thompson will be here talking about the Thunderbirds technical operations manual.
Yes. In the meantime, hi chaps, says Dave Ruther, I think, or Ruther.
Super
Ruther, I would say, yeah. Been a fan of the shows for many years, avid listener, now watcher of the podcast. Regarding the 60th anniversary display at the Slough Museum, I supplied them. That's Dave's talking, not me. That wasn't me. I supplied them the studio scale models of the Mole, Firefly, and Elevator car, and Thunderbird 1 in the launch bay.
Hey.
Just wondered if you've had a chance to go to the museum yet, and if so, what did you think? Keep up the great work, Dave.
Well, Dave, I shall tell you, the last time I came to Slough, I thought, I'm going to go to that museum. And that was the day when it wasn't open, so I couldn't go.
Oh.
So I haven't been yet.
Shame.
Ross.
I've also not made it.
Yeah. No, I haven't.
Shocking.
It's shocking. We're here, once a month doing these podcasts. Maybe we should make an effort next time we're here.
Yeah.
How long's it on for, do you know?
No
into the new
idea.
year, perhaps?
I hope so. Otherwise, we're in trouble. But Jamie has been. We know that.
Yes. And Ross, do you want to take this one? This is rather
Yeah,
lovely one here
sure,
from someone we haven't heard from for quite a while.
Dear Jamie, Chris, and Richard, it's been a while since my last email or audio message, but the Gerry Anderson podcast is still at the top of my listening list, whether at the gym, on bike rides, or even at work.
Amazing.
Excitingly, last year my son Luke was born and is now 17 months old.
Congratulations.
Yes.
My wife had been putting on Bluey, Peppa Pig, and Disney cartoons, but I decided it was time to
There's nothing
introduce...
wrong with Bluey.
Isn't there?
No.
Okay.
Or Peppa Pig.
All right.
David
Word for
Graham's
it.
in that.
It's fine.
Yeah, David Graham, yeah.
I decided it was time to introduce him to the worlds of Gerry Anderson.
Ah, yes.
But what show do we begin with?
Space Precinct.
Oh,
Obviously.
No, I would say one of the puppet shows. That's
Torchy?
Yeah, no, that's a bit too. Something gentle, simple, heroic, and positive.
Okay.
Stingray or Thunderbirds. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Well, you guessed it. Captain Scarlet.
Oh, no, we didn't.
A nice preschool bloodbath. Yeah. Why not?
Yeah, fine.
Now, he doesn't usually pay much attention to the TV. It's just on in the background while he plays with his toys. But as soon as he heard the Century 21 sting and Ed Bishop's narration, he didn't move from the sofa until after the third episode wrapped, from opening titles straight to the end of the credits.
Amazing.
It felt very emotional to be introducing my son to something I began watching almost 30 years ago. But even more so that Gerry is somewhere looking down immensely proud that a show he created almost 60 years ago is still going strong.
Yeah.
So now on the days we spend time together, it's a mix of Anderson shows, from Captain Scarlet, Thunderbirds, Stingray, and slowly making our way into Joe 90 territory.
Steady.
Yes.
Careful as you go.
Increasingly darker and violent here we're going.
I also wanted to ask, will there be any special releases or celebrations for Captain Scarlet's 60th anniversary? As always, gentlemen, keep up the good work. I look forward to listening more every week. Josh. P.S. He was not fazed in any way by Captain Black.
Well, Spectrum material if ever there was one.
More of a man than I am.
Yes.
Welcome back, Josh. I think that's Josh Long, who used to, converse with us quite regularly.
There's a name I've not heard in a long time.
Well, he's only gone and had a son, so we can forgive him.
Yeah.
But welcome back.
He's being raised right, this son. Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
And speaking of the Captain Scarlet's 60th anniversary,
yes,
which will be coming in 2027,
right,
I can exclusively reveal nothing really.
Oh, come on.
I don't know.
You don't know?
Well, I would assume, based on how things have been going, that
we're remaking the show.
Remaking the show. Yes, do that. Yeah. I was going to say there'll probably be a comic anthology. There'll probably be some models. There may be audio drama. Maybe something else. Maybe even you'll get to sit down with Paul McGann and actually watch not just any episode of Captain Scarlet, but a really popular one.
Well, now, I can promise that not in 2 years' time.
No, you'd have to wait 2 years.
But in 2 weeks' time. Hey. Join us again for the randomizer, where we will indeed be sitting down with Paul McGann to watch Attack on Cloudbase from Captain Scarlet.
Nice.
Look forward to it.
Yes.
See you then.
You know, I've never had to change the battery on that.
So back to 1968 we go, Paul.
Oh, yes.
I can't tell you what a privilege this is. Not a hair has a place, as my mother used to say.
You must have done a bit of pretend tilted set acting in your time.
It's her dream.
Yes.
It's her dream.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This is Christmas Control. Stand by. Let's go.
Spectrum is green.
The Gerry Anderson Podcast with Jamie Anderson and Richard James.
That was an Anderson Entertainment production.